Okay, so I'm gonna be talking about competition type of stuff. Like, let's say you looked on WCA website and then you saw a competition that you want to go to and you sign up for it. Well, before you actually sign up for it, you have to think about it. Think about the location of it and the time, the date of it. Because, like, let's say that you sign up for it and then you realize, like, 3 weeks late, 3 weeks before the competition, like, you signed up for it when it was first announced, and then 3 weeks before the competition, you realize, oh shit, or oh crap, I cannot go to this. Well, I'm screwed. You should think about it. And then, also another thing to think about is before you sign up, is like, what you're able to be, competing in. Like, for example, let's say you sign up for 5x5, like this, and you can solve a 5x5, but most of the time, but when you get to parity, you're screwed, and you don't know parity, like me, but then I recommend don't, sign up for it. Sign up only for the event that you can solve the, puzzle 100% of the time. No matter how much it's scrambled up and you don't end up into a case where you don't know yet. And also, like, let's say you sign up for magic, and then your magic breaks either on the day of the competition or like a month before the competition or something like that. Like, I've had this experience twice where I signed up for magic and then on the day of the competition my magic breaks. That sucks! And I recommend having spare magic strings or spare magic always on hand. And then, like, let's say that you sign up for an event and then you realize, oh, yeah, on the day, like a week, like 2 or 3 days before, you tell your parents, I need you to take me down to this place for this. And they'll be like, yeah. That's what happened on my first competition. So, if you still live with your parents, which that means you're still a teenager, or like still teenager or kid, and what you should do is, talk to your parent whether or not they are able to take you down, or if there's anything planned on that certain day. And then now, I'm going to talk about puzzles that are acceptable and not acceptable. The ones that I know that are acceptable and not acceptable. Well, the ones that are definitely not acceptable are the Sickless cubes. Because if you can see right there, you can definitely tell what each piece is. Like, yeah, it's half and half. I don't get it. And I don't get why they don't allow this for speed solving, but they allow this for blind. And then, another thing is that my last competition that I was at about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I originally was planning on using my Lenhoi. Pretty good cube. Yeah. And then, yeah, it was, like, it's good. And I used it for my first solve of the day, and then somehow they came to conclusion, not usable, not competition legal, probably due to the stickers, and I need to get new stickers for this. My first solve of the competition, I got 31 seconds. That's really good for me, because I usually average around 45 seconds. And then they told me to get another cube, so I picked up my Type F2, which I re-stickered there. But the thing is, I took off a couple of stickers on the white side, and they told me it cannot be used. And that's ridiculous, because it's a white cube, and white stickers are missing. That's just ridiculous. Then I went and grabbed this one, but I was originally wanting to grab my regular, my good Rubik's brand, but it was scrambled, and I didn't want to solve it at the time, and so I grabbed this 3x3, and this one side is gone, so, and it still could not be used. So I had to borrow an F2 from one of the judges, which I think it was Chester Leon, who loaned me his Type F2. But speaking of this, that side de-stickered, and back in August of 2011, I went to the U.S. National, and I used this, and it had a de-stickered side like this one, and it was usable. I mean, like, what the hell? I don't get it. And then, also, like, let's say you know how to solve a puzzle. Like, let's say you know how to solve a Megaminx, but I recommend not signing up for Megaminx if you can solve it in like 5 or 10 minutes. Somewhere in between 5 and 10 minutes, because usually they have cutoff times. It's like, if you get a time that is below a certain time, like let's say you can solve a Megaminx under 4 minutes, then that's a good time. Like, sometimes they have it cut off for 4 minutes, 4:30 or something like that. Yeah. And so, yeah, the cutoff time can vary depending on what competition you are at. And I recommend signing up for an event when you know that you can solve the puzzle in a decent time. That is a good time, and that you know that cutoff time is really under, like, really within the time frame. Yeah. So, like, for example, you would get Megaminx, and you can solve it in like 2 to 3 minutes. That's good, because usually the cutoff time are like around 4 minutes. And that's like, yeah. And then another thing is that if you own a puzzle and you know you can solve it, but it's like the only one that you have, and it's horrible, crappy, like, for example, you know you have a 6x6, and you know that you can solve it, but you didn't mod it, he modded it, but not fully, and so it's still crappy. Like, it still had some clicking, or the middle layer still misaligned. I recommend not going for that event, or like, let's say you have a good, like, you're only 2x2 or certain puzzle, and it's like really crappy and it pops a lot. I recommend not using it. Also, if you have a puzzle a lot like you have a puzzle where it's like this, where stickers are peeling so horribly where you can barely identify it, and I recommend you getting new stickers for the puzzle, or get a brand new puzzle of that same type. Or like, if you have a puzzle, like, for example, a 3x3, 4x4, or 5x5, or whatever, and it has tiles on it, there's a regulation rule, which is it has to be certain thickness in order for it to be acceptable. If it's over that thickness, then it's not acceptable. And right here, this note right here, it actually says how thick it is. And I think if I'm correct or not, like, this, like, a transparent cube is acceptable, as long as you can identify, as long as it's not so transparent that you can see through to the next color, like the Diane, like the stickerless cube. Also, if you have a puzzle that is like your main puzzle, and you're thinking, wait, I'm not sure if you can have puzzle this size. Like, for example, a mini dancing. A mini dancing is 45 centimeters, and it's like your main one-handed or your main speed cube, and it's acceptable because back in US Nationals, I remember seeing someone use a micro Master Magic made from 2 of those magics that you would get from twistypuzzles.com store, which is like super small. It's like super small. It's like each panel of it would be like about this 2x2 size block, and this 3x3 is just barely, it's like about 50 centimeters big. Yeah, about the size of this. While a normal magic panel is this big. Yeah. And I mean, like, oh my god. Yeah, and when I talked to him, he said, okay. I told him, wait, you can't use that. And he said, yes, I can. The rules don't say I can. And also, when I was there, I had my this on me, and on it was a keychain 3x3, Mario keychain 3x3, and he told me, yeah, a keychain 3x3 would be acceptable if it did not have the chain on it. That would surprise me. And Mario keychain 3x3 are excellent for speed solving. It's like you can get one and put it in your pocket and then just do some practice speed solving on it, like practice algorithm and some other stuff on it. Practice on the go. And yeah, those are what you should think about. Those are some things that you should think about when you're thinking about a competition. Another thing to think about is what to bring. Like, let's say this, you have a rare puzzle that is really rare and fragile. Like, for example, if you have a rare, like a rare, Dodging Pyraminx 3x3, Megaminx, or some of those other rare old vintage puzzles where they're like just so old that you want to keep them in the same condition and not even in the like easy to break type puzzle. I recommend not bringing them because from experience, a lot of people can try them and like just like turn them and like it falls apart and they're on accident and they're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah. And also with that, it's like, some of those puzzles, you don't want to lose them because of what special value they have to you. And I recommend not bringing those puzzles because they can easily be broken or lost or stolen or something else like that. And I've had this happen to me several times where, like, several of my puzzles that I had, some other people were playing with it and broke. Like, for example, this, puzzle mod broke at my last competition because a lot of people were trying it out. And at one of my competitions, I almost had someone walk away and lose my touch cube, and also I almost lost this puzzle, this rare puzzle. And at my last competition, someone else had one of these. And so, yeah. It, like, I don't even really know why. But yeah, those are some things to think about when you're thinking about going to a competition. Oh yeah, and another thing is that you should always bring in some money, because, like, for example, you could want to buy some puzzle later. Like, if you bring some money, you'll need money for registration, and then for to get some new puzzles and stuff. Like, usually they have a set rate where your first event is $5 or something like that, and then the more events you add on, it like just $2 on addition. So, like, for example, you do 3x3. That's $5. 2x2, $7 right there. Mega Minx, $9. 4x4, $11. 5x5, $13. 6x6, $15. And so on and so forth. And it can get expensive if you do all of the events. All the events. Blindfolded, one-handed, 2x2 through 7x7, Mega Minx, Pure Minx, Clock, Magic, Master Magic, and all of that. So, yeah, it gets really expensive. And there's one event where I think is kind of little not going to be an event for much longer. It's Furious Move, because Furious Move now is already settled down 20. Yeah. And so, if someone can beat 20, then that would be amazing. Yeah. So, that's another thing why you should bring money. Also, another reason why you should bring money is that, like, sometimes they have vendors where they sell new puzzles, or you can buy puzzles from a friend. And yeah, also, usually you should have money for lunch. They provide lunch sometimes, but in the other time you would have to go around the area where the competition is to get lunch.